voice of growth, mastering the mind and market.
Welcome to the Voice of Growth podcast, Mastering the Mind and Market. My name is Manny Turan, and I'm your host. On today's podcast, I am leveraging a bit of a serendipitous moment. Over the weekend, I fought off a cold. Luckily, it didn't get too bad, but you can tell by my voice, it sounds a little different. And it gave me the impetus to talk about today's subject, which is the idea of the AI-Augmented leader and the rise thereof. Over the past 36 months or so, you've seen people diving into these large language models like ChatGPT and Claude, Anthropic and all that. And you're seeing this element of using AI to support them in their jobs. And you're hearing small semblances, you're seeing seedlings form that are the beginning of the idea of this agentic workforce, this digital workforce. And you hear things on the news, you hear sound bites on social media, but what's happening is we're getting that groundswell. Those seeds are beginning to germinate. And those seeds of change are, if you're not smart about it, could decimate your job. Now, yes, there's a lot of gloom and doom on the idea of what's happening with AI. Is it going to take your job away? All these things. And yeah, we can sit here as Stoics and basically not worry about it, or essentially only worry about what you can control, which is here. But it doesn't mean that you are to remain inactive. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do things and prepare in preparation for this new way of working. There are some things happening right now that are behind the scenes with respect to the AI digital workforce, and they're beginning to show their fangs out in the industry. Let me give you some examples. So for instance, Klarna's CEO expects their workforce to be reduced from 7,000 employees to under 2,000 employees due to AI automation. That means that you're able to do more with less people. There is this idea of the shift between AI becoming a tool to AI becoming part of the workforce. There's consulting firms like McKinsey and PricewaterhouseCoopers are basically deploying thousands of AI agents out there to automate and sustain and create partnerships with employees such that one or even creating one employee to one agent. And you're having this agent support you in your daily tasks. So your efficiency is on the rise. The focus now is more on productivity gains and business outcomes, and it is no longer just experimentation. Yeah, it might be experimentation in your domain. You might be sort of sticking your toe in the water, but it'd be smart for you to dedicate a lot of time, a lot of resources to exploring how your company will not just deal with AI, but capitalize on it. What are you going to do in your workforce? If you're a law firm, if you're an accounting firm, if you're a marketing firm, if you are an engineering firm, if you're a manufacturing firm, if you are a restaurant, if you're a hospitality, like a hotel or a resort, all these things I've mentioned so far, and I can go on and on and on, are going to be touched, if not decimated, by AI. I'm not a gloom and doom guy, but I want you to be armed. I want you to be ready for these things as they begin to take hold. Leaders now must orchestrate human plus AI teams. There will come a time when your Zoom call is going to have 12 tiles of different people, and 3 or 4 of those tiles will be AI agents. They'll have an avatar like my face here, and they're going to have a voice, and you're going to say, hey, Bill, can you please make sure to get that economic outlook report to me? Absolutely, Manny. And you're going to see that agent go back and retrieve that. I just email it to you. You're going to see these things become ubiquitous. Just like we today are using our cell phones to map our way to different places or book travel or communicate, whatever, in how it is ubiquitous now, you'll see AI agents part of the fabric of the marketplace. You're going to talk to AI agents on the phone. You're going to, and this is more than just now. Of course, now we're sort of like getting there, and you're getting frustrated, and you're hitting zero because you want to get to the operator because you have a very, very unique case. And you're going to see these AI agents become very sophisticated to the point where your very, very unique situation is going to be addressed just like a human would, if not faster. Because these agents are going to be talking to other agents, are going to be talking to the computer systems and getting the answer that you want faster and with more efficiency. The rise of these agentic workflows, so these are the AI systems that execute entire business functions, are on the rise. You're going to see small companies with, rather than having a CFO or a controller, you're going to see them have an entire agent that handles all those aspects. Now, you still need a person to make the transaction for now, but a CEO can basically run their entire company with a CFO agent, with maybe a legal agent that's helping them with contracts, with certain things. And more importantly, if your current lawyer, your current law firm, your current CPA firm, whatever, if they're not deploying and using AI today, you may want to find another law firm. That may sound contrary to a lot of what business people are saying today, but what I'm talking about is the rise of that agentic AI-enabled leader. The organization that is able to capture the power of AI today is going to be there for the future, and that those that do not embrace AI are going to be stuck in a certain path of today and of yesterday. I say this having lots of friends that are powerful lawyers in town, that run law firms, that run CPA firms. And I ask them casually about how they're doing, how they're working with AI. And the extent today is, oh yeah, we use ChatGPT, or we use this specialized tool that is for the accounting industry, blah, 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 which is fine. It's baby steps. What I'm asking you to do is to dive in, find out what are the top firms doing to advance their cause forward so that in the next 5 years, when things completely change, you're ready. Another thing that's happening is AI is forcing a leadership and identity reset. It's causing us to look inward deeply and figure out how our future, our livelihoods will be changed forevermore by AI, myself included. I'm the CEO of an organization here in town. I have 15 employees. We work on manufactured and designed systems for the astronomy industry as well as semiconductor. And I need to look at what's my role going to be in the future as somebody who makes decisions. I look at my role as a podcaster. I look at my role as a business coach. How is that going to change when AI is at your fingertips and basically free? If you can pay $50 a month for an AI business coach that can look at the collective, exhaustive knowledge of business transactions and whether they were successful or not, and you can draw from that, why would you spend $500 an hour if instead you could spend $50 a month and have it at your fingertips? You see what I'm saying? Now, think about the power that if you do have a business coach and they have access to that, and together that trifecta can decide what is the best course of action for your business, imagine the power. The idea of this podcast came because of my sickness here, and the idea that my employees call in sick. I can certainly call in sick. AI agents do not call in sick. They're only powered by electricity and questions. And that was a stark realization that I need to take my own message of this idea of the AI augmented leader to higher and higher levels, because I can see the writing on the wall. I talk to AI experts all the time. This morning at a breakfast club I'm part of, a leader of a very well-known $50 billion plus organization. She leads the local component of that. She was talking about how her company powers the back end of a lot of these things that we enjoy today. Credit card transactions, going to the DMV and changing certain things about what we are addressed or whatever. All these things on the back end are powered by the company that she works for. There was questions about when will AI become sentient? And her response was when quantum computing becomes a standard. Now, that coupled with other conversations I've had with AI experts, both in the public sense, some of which I've featured on my podcast, some that are behind the scenes that choose not to be vocal, all of that collectively gave me a push and a drive to share the message of why the AI augmented leader needs to be a topic of focus for this podcast and for the work that I do. The reason in particular I think it's so important, because I want people that I work with, my colleagues, people in the same market, in the same region, friends of mine, I want them to be empowered by what's happening with AI today. I want them to have relevancy in the future because they chose to understand this early. It reminds me of the days of early email, early websites, early, when Google was not even a thing yet. I remember those days. And those that understood how to navigate that quote internet, those early adopters were propelled forward faster than those that took a while to latch on to the email world. And I see that today right now. I am by no means an expert in AI, but I'm doing my best to understand how to use it. And it's not just a question of using it for the podcast or using it for my other company. It's a question of going leaps and bounds beyond that to create an agent that can be my virtual assistant, to understand how I can take this podcast, for instance, to higher levels of not only of awareness, but of the depth of topics and all that by using these AI agents. So I'm on a personal mission, in addition to the stoicism, which I think is integral part of this, because it's going to call into question our very identity of who are we becoming as servant leaders. What's happening here with the industry when AI agents are everywhere and you're looking at your own skill set slipping away from you? I don't want that. I want you to have full command of this so that you can take your leadership skills, your company, your team to higher levels of success and relevancy. One of the things that rings true, we have these things in our mind from moments in our lives that continually just hit a note in our head, whether it's something somebody said or something you saw play out in front of you, or in your own experience of making decisions or whatever. I have a handful of these things that I keep really close to the chest. One of these is when she's now 94, my 94-year-old grandmother told me that one of the worst feelings to have in life is to feel irrelevant. Relevancy we take for granted. Relevancy is we walk into a room, people know our names. Relevancy is we watch the news and we understand kind of what's happening. And it's like this dark mask, this veil comes over us and we slowly become irrelevant. I do not want any of my friends or colleagues or employees or family members to ever feel irrelevant because of the power of and the growth of AI. So let this be a war charge, a war cry to fully dive in and understand how you can use and become a AI augmented leader. Take your leadership skills and not just bolt on AI elements. Take your leadership skills and completely mix in AI skills so that at one point in time, you will not be able to separate your leadership skills from those that you've added on and mixed in from AI. I've been thinking about this in particular for a while. This weekend was the sort of the spark that caused this conversation. And one of the things I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be working with some of my AI guru friends to create a bit of a very simple map that can be used by the industry to help certain kinds of leaders not just put their toe in the AI world, but dive right in. It's confusing, to be honest. I mean, you look on the news and there's so much stuff happening and you can't keep track of ChatGPT version 3.2. All these things are happening and it's kind of mind-boggling. So let's keep it simple. What are these first few steps you can take in order to harness the power of AI? And I'm excited to share that over the past couple of weeks, we have gotten some really good people on our docket that will be presenting for the podcast. We have some people that are really doing some interesting things with the biosphere. So if you don't know about the biosphere, Biosphere 1 is the Earth. Biosphere 2 is this fully enclosed environment here just north of Tucson, where I think 7 scientists were locked in there for 2 years. And it has these biomes and these complete habitats and has like the rainforest and the desert, and it's a pretty amazing test bed. While they're doing Biosphere 3, which is the digital twin version of that. So we're going to be speaking with people that have really an integral working knowledge of what's happening there. And these are all elements of AI. There's all this piece of AI that's thread through these conversations we're having. So with that, thanks for this opportunity to share my thoughts. Remember, figure out how you can change your own identity to become an AI augmented leader so that you can take advantage of the growth and the power of AI and not be left behind and not become irrelevant, and to continue to take your own voice of growth, and expand it and grow it to those that you care about. Thanks a lot. Cheers.